What's up everyone? Caleb Carnes here, Carnes Fishing. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, subscribe. This is the first episode of a series I'm running. Going to be documenting my BFL season 2023. Switched divisions this year. I'm going to fish the mountain division. Completely different than what I'm used to. A lot more deep water tournaments, clear water tournaments. Just a whole different style of fishing. Two of these lakes I've never been to. So we're going to go through it together, good, bad, and ugly. Hopefully a lot more good than bad and ugly. So yeah, first stop, Dale Hollow Lake. I've fished this lake a few times. Don't really know it all that well. We're in the middle of March. The live scope game has completely taken over at this lake. Where I come from and where I fish, we don't live scope. The fish just really don't set up for it. These open water, the pelagic fish, it's all new to me. So the goal for this practice is go down there, spend a couple days really trying to dial that bite in and look for other patterns. Hopefully there's other patterns we can supplement that with. But we're going to go down there. We've got Thursday and Friday to practice. Hopefully figure out this live scope game. We've got some weather moving in for the weekend, for the tournament. It's probably going to change things a bit. So we're just going to go see what we can find. I don't know if y'all can see that. Right there. It's a pretty solid one. He's out at 55. We're going to try to chase him down a little bit if he don't sink on us. Oh, he's sinking. Imagine that. Another good one. That's a real good one. See him right there. Daggone blimp. I missed him. Two of them. Big old magnolia. Look at there. Wrong species. Good sandwich though.
We catching everything but what we're supposed to. Hey, that's a toad. That might be an over. Oh, look at that. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Choked it too. Good Lord. It's a good one.
So basically I had two patterns for this tournament. I always like to try to find a backup pattern. It never works out for me very well if I put all my eggs in one basket. So I like to have things to fall back on because, let's face it, most of the time your tournament day doesn't go as planned. So I always look for multiple patterns. And the first pattern was the live scoping with a Damiki rig and a swim bait. We're going to go over all the live scope stuff, that pattern first, and then we'll go into my second pattern, the Carolina rig. So like I said before, I'm not a live scoper. I'm trying to learn that whole game. All I can tell you guys is what worked for me, and I tried to keep it simple. I threw two heads the whole time. This is a pretty popular one. It's the VMC Moon Eye jig head. A lot of people use it. Got the right size hook, it's shaped right. And then I also used, I think this is a Scottsboro finesse swim bait head. And I had them rigged up. I had a 1/4 ounce and a 3/8 ounce in each, the Damiki and the swim bait, just for fish at different depths. If fish seemed like if they were 10 foot or less in the water column, that 3/8 would fall a little too fast, or I'd have to reel it too fast, and it just didn't work out, so I would go to the 1/4. Anything deeper than 10 foot, the 3/8 seemed to work well. And I used a plethora of baits. I'm going to go through a couple. All of these baits I got bit on. So this one we've got right here, don't know if you guys can see that. That is a mag minnow from On the Hook Fishing. I know the guy that makes these, and it's a crappie bait, but it works great as a Damiki bait. And I think, you know, it's kind of a profile and an action that they don't see a lot of because it is a crappie bait, but it's the perfect size, right at 3 inches. It's got good action when you shake it. It looks good and realistic in the water when you just have to set it still right in front of their face. So that one really worked out well. A couple Jinko baits that I caught them on. 3-inch trimmer shad. These things are just awesome. I mean, they look so real and they move so well in the water. And also this is also a Jinko crappie bait called a mermaid. I think it's like 2.5 inches. Worked really great for the Damiki stuff. Again, like the small, really small baits. They're keyed in on little bitty, like threadfin shad and stuff this time of year. And if you throw anything that's big, they will not pay attention to it. So that's the baits that I use for the Damiki rig. On my swim bait head, little swimmers, I just used, these are some that I caught them on, 2.7 Divine swim bait. They seem to like it. Can't go wrong with a 2.8 Kitech. And it seemed like every now and then they get in a mood where they just want to follow the swim bait. I'm not really sure why. But I was switching to a little 3-inch grub. This is a Kalin's grub, just in a natural shad type color. Picked up a few fish on that. So don't confine yourself to one bait. Keep showing them something different. It's like their mood changes constantly, so you got to keep giving them something fresh.
Alright, there's a couple to play with. Pretty decent one. I just realized he was caught. On him. Shoo. We're figuring them out a little bit. They just throwing a little grub, something a little different. They were swerving my swim bait, so I switched to that, a little more subtle. They seem to like it. Finally a green one. Ain't very big though.
Okay, so the second pattern, Carolina rig. It's no secret, it works all over the place. The few times that I've been to Del Hollow and lakes that are like Del Hollow, especially if they have grass, it seems like when those fish start pulling out of the deep water and they start moving up, the first place they stop is that 8 to 12 foot grass. And there's no better bait to me to fish that than a Carolina rig. So a couple baits that I was using on the Carolina rig, this is one of my favorites. It's called a Cyclone Crawl from Interceptor. The reason that I like this bait is because so many people throw a baby brush hog or a brush hog on a Carolina rig and they get bit. I have this thing to where I just like showing fish something different. This is comparable in size to a baby brush hog. It's just a little bit different. It's actually got these balls on the end of the tails there. They thump a little bit. It's made out of floating plastic, so it works great for a Carolina rig. Super awesome bait. You guys need to check these out if you haven't, especially if you throw a Carolina rig. Alright, second bait that I throw, I keep it simple on a Carolina rig. I'll throw a creature bait or I'll throw a finesse worm. That's pretty much it. They seem to get bit everywhere I've been, those two presentations. This is just a Zoom finesse worm. I was catching some fish on this. Interceptor makes one. Their finesse wrecking ball worm, I think it's like 5 1/4. Got a ball on the end, which is a great worm for this. I just don't have any handy with me, but I caught some fish on that. It's actually got a ball on the end of it. And when you're dragging that Carolina rig, it's kind of, that worm's got a little bit of shimmy to it. That ball gives movement, kind of like a more natural swimming action.
Some grass, kind of a shallow point. Pre-spawn staging. Typical stuff. Just don't know if it's going to be consistent. Tried scoping fish all day, and I've caught several smallmouth, several crappie, and very few largemouth. And largemouth is what we need, so not so sure about all that stuff. But we still got another day. Can't tell if it's a smallmouth or a largemouth. Oh, it's a good largemouth. Got his lipstick on. Look at that one. 5 of those. Saturday we be in business. That's a good one. Wow. See that one? That is what we need right there. No, it ain't. That's a smallmouth. What in the world am I doing catching a smallmouth back here? Good one. Not the right brand though. Sad you gotta throw back 4-pound fish.
So thanks everyone who's still out there watching, sticking with me for this long. Next episode coming up will be tournament day, the very first tournament of the 2023 BFL season, Mountain Division. We're learning new lakes. We might learn some new techniques. Everything I learn, I'm gonna try to pass along. So stick with me. Thanks for watching. Oh, and if you haven't, hit that bell up there and subscribe. What's up everybody? Can't let you go just yet. I know I've been a little long-winded on this episode and they're not all gonna be like that, I promise. I just finished editing this first episode and there's been something weighing on me that I feel compelled to do. So at the end of each episode, I'm actually filming this on my phone right now. They may not all be like this, but it's all good. At the end of each episode, I'm just gonna take a couple minutes to talk about, try to spread the good word, talk about the gospel. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart. And it's something I want to do, but I've been struggling. How can I fit it into this? Do I need to make it relate to fishing or not. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. I don't, just a couple minutes each episode at the end. Kind of the inspiration for the name The Grind, or something that's very fitting anyway. I'm gonna give you guys a Bible verse that I refer to, because as tournament fishermen, we've all had those struggles. We've had those bad tournaments. If you do this enough, you have those moments where you want to quit, you lose hope and all that. So I truly feel like this Bible verse applies to everyone that's felt that, which is most of us tournament fishermen. It's Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. I'm going to read it for you. It says, "And not only that, but we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope." And then it goes on to say, "Now hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts by the Holy Spirit who was given to us." So I just kind of feel like that applies to the fishing, tournament fishing, bad tournaments when you're losing hope and all that stuff. Basically, to me, that just means embrace the bad tournaments, the bad days, the bad decisions. And the more you do that, the more mentally strong you get, and it makes you more hopeful. I really feel like that applies. If you guys have watched this, I appreciate it. Like I said, this episode's been long-winded. It's the first one, so it will evolve, it'll get more efficient, all that good stuff. But thanks everybody for watching along. I appreciate your time. God bless you.